everyone. I'm Wanda Payton, and
I'm Suzanne Jessica Arriaga.
And tonight we're excited to present week 8. These are 8 weeks have passed. Can you believe it? Building self-confidence is our topic tonight, which is a great class. Setting an intention for our series tonight is me and we're both of us, in fact, all of us. You know, each week before we get started, we like to just take a moment and just set an intention for our time together. And while we are doing that on this side, we'd like to ask each one of you to do the same thing. So just take a moment and just decide, what do you want to take away from tonight's meeting? So I'd like to just say that my intention is that we continue to build a sense of community for sharing and supporting one another while we begin to or continue to focus in on processes and strategies which will really support us in sustaining and building self-confidence. Suzanne, what is your intention?
My intention is that we all hear what each of us individually needs to hear, because there's a lot of content that we're going to be covering this evening. Maybe some things are going to resonate with some people and other things with other people. So just want to make sure that we hear the things that are important to us and that are going to help each one of us be more confident and reach our goals better this year. So
Perfect.
Let's start with a little housekeeping, as always. Obviously, we'll be recording this meeting, but in consideration of any comments that we may want to remain private, we'll pause recording during the feedback exercise portion of the recording and then restart it. Obviously, each meeting will be available the following Monday or before on the Closed Post Facebook group, 12 Weeks to Harnessing Your Energy in 2017, and emailed to you as well. And obviously, the more you participate, the more you will receive, so take a moment to participate during our interaction. Lastly, be conscious of background noises. If you're driving, you have a busy background, you have a puppy like me or little kids, whatever, please place your phone on mute, hit *6, and please remember to unmute, though, when you want to speak.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, if you're listening in and you watched or read last week's exercise, the question is, how did we do with being aware of the present moment this past week? And I don't know who's going to be joining us. Yvette's on the call now. I don't know, Yvette, if you were able to complete the exercise. But if you were, and you can express how it turned out for you, we'd appreciate it. I'm not sure if you're muted or on. Oh, Lori.
There comes
Lori's arrived. Lori, let me ask you, Suzanne, while they're hooking up, were you able to use any of the processes that we talked about last week?
Yes, I was. I don't know if I can name the ones that I used, but I really was aware. I tried to be more aware of actually being in the present moment and really taking in my settings, looking at things in a new perspective. I tried that one. I also tried the senses. I was eating. I had made a Blue Apron. I'm doing that Blue Apron thing where you make your own dinners and stuff like that. And I made this chicken sandwich, and while I was eating it, I really took the time to experience the flavors, because they were different flavors, and it made it kind of easy because they were different flavors than normal flavors. It was delicious, by the way. But it had some kind of little picante peppers in it, and I was really aware of tasting them, and I made myself do that because I wanted to try and be in the present moment while eating, because it is one of the things that I don't do that well. I have that tendency to gobble down my food and not experience it, but I really did that this week. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, for me, it happened during my morning walk, and frequently that's when it happens. And I just really heard the birds chirping and singing, really really tuned into that sound. It sounded like a little bird choir going on, and it really did center me. So that's how I use being mindful and being present. Just really, when I looked up at the mountains and I was listening to the birds, and I also had my Bluetooth, so I had one ear listening to Pandora and listening to this amazing music that was called Liquid Mind that was in my ear. I really transported myself for that 30, 45-minute walk to, this imaginary place while I'm walking. So that was my
Nice.
experience. Anybody else?
And I also see here, I see here on chat that Yvette wrote in. She says she's on mute. She said, I made sure that I made time to do something fun when I wasn't thinking about my to-do list. That's always good not to think of. And on Saturday, spent the day overlooking the ocean and hanging out by the beach. Very peaceful Saturday, living in the moment.
Yvette.
So.
Yvette.
I'm jealous.
Yes. Me too. That's amazing. Okay. Well, thank you for your input and for sharing. And now for tonight's topic, building self-confidence. So here's the question that begs to be asked. Really, what is self-confidence? We all want to perform at our best in our work and in our personal lives, but in order for this to happen, we must believe in ourselves and truly be confident. Truly be confident in our abilities. But what exactly does this mean to be truly confident? What is confidence anyway? Is it just a concept, a feeling, a state of being? Here's a quote from Rosabeth Moss Kanter. She says, confidence isn't optimism or pessimism, and it's not a character attribute. But what it really is, it's the expectation of a positive outcome. I like that. It's the expectation of a positive outcome. So in this teleseminar tonight, we will explore this concept of self-confidence. And we're going to work together to identify some ways we can improve our level of self-confidence. So let's start by identifying our way of looking at confidence and how we personally see it.
Because confidence is the assurance that you have in yourself and in your powers and your abilities. Confidence is not to be confused, though, with self-esteem or self-worth. Self-esteem is defined in the dictionary as a favorable impression of oneself. And then self-worth is defined as a sense of one's own value as a person. Of course, having self-esteem and self-worth leads to being confident. They suggest that in order for any of us to be confident, we must first look at ourselves in a new light. So let's look at some things that we can say and do that can help us to see ourselves in a new light. And we like to call these ideas confidence boosters.
Confidence boosters. So confidence building exercises should be on everybody's daily to-do list, because we all need to have a good sense of self-confidence and self-esteem, don't we? And while there are people who have at least a decent amount of those and don't necessarily maybe need any more, but the vast majority of people have low self-confidence and low self-esteem. This is why we chose this topic as one of our 12 important topics. It's really a must that we learn efficient self-confidence building exercises that can turn us into confident people. The lack of self-confidence is such a huge problem today that we should all take it very seriously, actually, because this lack of trust in our own abilities can be very dangerous to our potential, because it stops us from doing the things that we're really capable of doing, It keeps us in a dark corner of doubts. So many individuals live in fear of not saying something stupid or not doing something wrong. And this fear stops them from actually accomplishing a lot of the goals they want to accomplish because they're too afraid to even try. Have you ever felt any of those emotions? And so I thought that we would cover a few symptoms of low self-confidence and low self-esteem. Are you, for an example, attached to material goods, let's say money or looks or status? Do you have a fear of failure or a fear of success? A fear of being rejected? A fear of standing up for yourself when someone has wronged you? Or are you easily influenced? Are you stuck in your comfort zone? Do you have a constant need to prove something to others? You've seen people like that. Or do you have a lack of creativity or an inability to be yourself? And as you can see on this screen, there are others. No coping skills, inability to take risks, feeling insecure, no perseverance. All of these are symptoms of low confidence or self-esteem.
But tonight, our intention for this class is that the class will support you in unleashing the giant potential that we each all have. We're going to present some of the most known confidence-building tips and exercises in this next segment. We hope that you take each confidence-building exercise seriously and remember that you will have to do the work, as with all of the topics that we've covered. You will have to use them for a while so that you can really reap the rewards. So we're going to share 12 confidence-boosting exercises with you now.
And so the first one is breathing. Believe it or not, there are breathing techniques for confidence. There are many, as a matter of fact, breathing techniques that can help people build their confidence. So, for example, whenever you feel nervous, a simple building confidence exercise is that you should just take a breath until you calm yourself. Have you ever been in a position where you're about to go out on stage and do public speaking or say a few words, whether it's at your kids' PTA or whether it's at any gathering, and you feel the butterflies and the nerves? Breathe. You know, they say that public speaking is one of the most feared activities, even feared more than death. And so, if that's the truth, and I suspect that it is, it's real important to learn how to breathe through having to speak, because we are going to be in situations all the time where we're going to have to speak. It's simple and effective, and it can save you from a lot of misery. Just think about it. When was the last time when you said something stupid because you were nervous? I know I have. So when you're nervous, you should not probably even talk, but just breathe until you calm down. This also works in cases where you're preparing for a big event and you might be feeling stressed out.
And that is something I teach, as I think you guys know, I teach at Chaffey College, and I teach business classes, and every semester the students have to give a group project, and I tell them exactly what Wanda said. I know that public speaking is the #1 fear, even above death, but I promise you that you'll be safe in class, and I give them some tips, and one of the tips that I do give them is to take 3 deep breaths before they start to speak. And it seems to really help them, but that's definitely a good tip for building your confidence, especially when speaking. And then our next tip is to get a notebook. It's a really simple confidence-building exercise that can easily be put into action starting right now. Get a notebook and start using it to record all the good things that you managed to do by writing down everything that you do well in your workplace, in your home. You'll start to gain a decent level of self-confidence. And whenever you feel down, you can just open up this notebook and start reading it. And then once you see how many good things you managed to do in the recent past, you should feel amazing and realize that you are worth it and you are a confident person. And you'll say, did I do all that? Boy, I can't believe it. So just keep reading through the notebook, because everything you've written down is true, and it's been done by you. So you can get great things in your life. This notebook is just a confirmation and a reminder that you're a great person, that you can do the things the right way, and you should be proud of yourself. And this is really a good little tip too. I think when you're down, to have that notebook and look back on all your accomplishments can really help to boost your
totally.
confidence. Yeah.
Totally. I used to coach with a fabulous coach in Pennsylvania for 90 minutes a week. And one of the things that she taught me was to keep, and she didn't call it a confidence building notebook, but she did call it a feel-good notebook. So she accumulated all the cards people had sent her, or the little notes. She printed out the emails where someone had given her a compliment, or she wrote down in this notebook what nice things people had said about her, or how she felt about herself. And invariably, if she started reading one page after another, because these things happen to us all the time, we're always getting, a little examples of compliments and warm fuzzies, as I call them. So she said they would always shift her mood, always shift her mood.
Yeah.
And you can see how that can happen. The next thing is, the next tip is mindset. One of the most important confidence building exercises is, without a doubt, the exercise that can have the most positive influence on your entire person. This is one of the most utilized self-confidence building exercises. And that is the can-do mindset. Getting into the can-do mindset. Joel Osteen quotes and reminds us. He says, I believe that God has put gifts and talents and abilities on the inside of every one of us. When you develop that, and you believe in yourself, and you believe that you're a person of influence and a person of purpose, he said, I believe you can rise up out of any situation. So having a can-do attitude. So do all that you can do to become a person that rarely says no, or I can't do this, or I have to, or I should, or I must, or I'll do it later. Because all of these words can be toxic for your self-confidence. Slowly and very surely killing off the self-esteem and self-confidence that you have. So stop using these words that mean nothing, actually, and use strong motivating words like, I will do this, I am doing this, sure I can, yes, of course I can do this, I can do this. This is such a great line. There is such a great line between what you think you can do and what you can actually do, that you'll be amazed, because you are set on saying I can't do this sometimes, and you won't even start, even though you really can do almost anything by just saying, yes, I can. It does not matter if you think you can or you can't. Just say every time you do something that you can do it, and you know you can do it. I always say, one of my quotes is from the scriptures, and I think it's a paraphrasing, with the power of God I can do anything, and it isn't me. If I don't believe I can do it, I believe God can do it through me. That's just what works for me. You'll notice that your percentages of success will start to go up. This will prove to you that you can actually do it. So start being a can-do woman, and just know that you can do this, that you're meant to have a life of strong, powerful self-confidence. And by the way, this exercise also works for children. So for yourself, and use it for your young children, even your teenagers, even my children who are in their 50s. I use it for them.
And then our next suggestion is self-hypnosis. Another confidence-building exercise for adults is self-hypnosis for self-confidence. This means that you'll flood your mind, and a good time to do this is right before you go to bed. Flood your mind with ideas and thoughts that will make you more self-confident and more aware of your limitless capabilities. Make a habit to tell yourself a couple things right before you go to sleep, and then again right when you wake up. At night when you fall asleep, just lie in your bed and repeat simple affirmations for self-confidence or self-esteem, like more general affirmations. I'm a unique creation. I'm special with every single cell in my body. And then again, like Wanda said, I can do anything that I set my mind to. And there's no one and nothing that can stop me. If I truly want to achieve it, I will put all my strength in my actions, and I will break any obstacles that may arise. I'm a great person. Obviously, you don't have to say all of these, but whichever ones resonate with you. I feel positive energy running through my entire body. I know now that I'm confident in my abilities and myself. And all of these, whatever you choose, they're meant to make you feel better about yourself and to push that button that will make you more aware that you really are an extraordinary person with extraordinary powers and you're truly unique. And the key here, though, is sort of making it, if you're doing it right before you're going to sleep, you're sort of, that's why they're calling it self-hypnosis, hypnotizing yourself to sleep, but you're hypnotizing yourself with the last words that you're remembering before you fall off to sleep are positive, empowering, self-confident words that you're telling yourself.
Yeah, you know, Suzanne, have you ever fallen asleep with the TV on? And
oh yeah. Oh, whoops! I shouldn't admit that, but yes.
And maybe, you know, subconsciously you're listening and you think you're asleep, but I know I have to admit it. And you wake up with that on your mind a lot of times. You know, you go to sleep, or the last thing that I have before I go to bed at night is what I wake up with on my mind. So what a great way to take control over what we put into our mind, consciously, purposefully putting these thoughts into our mind. And then
right, and that's, and well, I was just to say one more thing about that. I mean, the television thing. I mean, you could be watching a program that you like, and then all of a sudden you fall asleep and you wake up to the horrible news. What a way! What a horrible thing to put in your subconscious. That's like we talked about before, to turn off that TV an hour or so before you do go to bed. I just wanted to say that because it's hard to do, and I know I'm guilty of keeping it on too long sometimes too. But yeah, having those positive thoughts in your mind before you go to bed, much better. So,
and one more thing I have to say, that when I do put on for cable, using Spectrum, Charter, have the soundscape, and when I put on that beautiful music and fall asleep, it's just the opposite. I feel like I'm floating. I wake up smiling, relaxed. It's just incredible. So then number 10, this is really important. I want you all to hear this. Acknowledge your uniqueness.
Wait a minute. I think you're on positive affirmation.
Well, let's see. Oh, okay. Well, I do want you to acknowledge your uniqueness. We'll get to that in a second. Okay. And then you can say other positive affirmations in the morning. So this one just goes along with your hypnosis, because you set the stage the night before, and then you wake up in the morning and you start your day. Now, can you imagine going to sleep with all those beautiful thoughts and then waking up saying, boy, this day will be wonderful for me. I will live one of the best days of my life today. Everything in the universe will help me with every step that I make. Can you imagine saying that? I feel like a new woman today. I feel amazing. I'm certain that this day will be one of those days that I'll remember my entire existence! Exclamation mark. I feel confident and sure that I will do great things today. This is a great day. I am a person who does things. I'm a winner today, and I act, walk, talk, smell like a winner. And make sure that you do this as soon as you awake, because that's when we're most receptive. So the continuation of the self-hypnosis, and then the next morning, choosing any one of these or all of them, boy, you're ready to propel yourself into your day.
Ready to propel yourself into your work. And did you know you can use confidence-building exercises at work, too? One of the exercises is to notice things that you seem to do better than other people. Maybe other people have told you you have a special something about you, you do that one thing at work really good, and they wish they could do it as well as you can. Remember what they said, and what can you do better than anyone else with no effort? There's surely a few things, at least one thing, that you really shine out. Find out what these things are. Realize what they are. Take a mental note of that. Maybe you can think faster than anyone else and come up with solutions quickly, while others are struggling to just realize what the problem is. You've already got the solution. So then start reading books on the subjects at which you excel. Talk to people that also have the capacity that you have. Watch movies. Go to seminars, videos. Really become an expert at it. And if there's more than one thing, learn about all of them. And then congratulate yourself from time to time about your particular ability and cherish it. So once you find what your little niche ability is, expand it. Learn more about it. Get better at it. And never be ashamed of the good things that you have. Be proud of them and then learn in order to do them even better.
You know, I'm thinking now of, in my real estate office, I'm thinking about people who understood how to do certain aspects of real estate better than other people, like maybe the technology, or how to do social media. They just had a knack for it. And because of that, you could see them teaching classes, which is exactly what you want to do. Take that one thing that you really love and become better at it, learn more. The thing that your individual brilliance. For me, as many years ago when I started in real estate, I loved to show other people whatever it was that I knew how to do. If it was just 2 things more than they knew, it gave me great joy and pleasure, and I did it well to help them. So that kind of directed me into this area of coaching so many years later. So that's just an example of how it works. And then compliment yourself, ladies. Really, this is one of the best confidence building exercises, and we don't do it enough. Just compliment. You don't have to let anybody see you doing it or hear you doing it. Just do it quietly in front of the mirror, but talk about the great thing you did this past week or today. Congratulate yourself on that closing, the difficult closing you did, or the opening that you had, or the client that you sold a product to or a service to, or how you handled, I don't know, an argument or a disagreement with your kids or your family, or just, we know that we've done how we plan for the week's food intake for our family. Congratulate yourself on those things because you did them. And we as women don't do that enough. We take on so much responsibility, and we just feel that it's our obligation. We multitask. And boy, I say this, and I can't say it enough. If we are removed out of the picture of a family unit, what would that family look like? How would they struggle?
They'd starve to death at my house.
I mean, the dog would starve, the kids. It would be really pitiful. So take a moment and just compliment yourself. after you realize that the great gifts that you have, the great abilities that you seem to have naturally, then start talking about those with yourself. Promise me you'll do that. Say things like, I am truly amazing, and don't feel like you're bragging, because it is being aware of what you are, who you are, and your self-worth. Just to think of how fast I solved that problem. Or, man, I am truly special. I'll do my best to become even better. I'll use all of my knowledge to help myself and my coworkers and my family. Do that. Compliment yourself.
And then our next tip is create more, or I like to say embrace your creativity. What this means is you'll start to find new connections to old things and create new ones. You could have done this anytime you wanted, but sometimes because of our lack of self-confidence, we don't do this. But now it's time to embrace your creative side. And that could be anything that you're interested in. You know, for me, writing, and believe me, it has really boosted my self-confidence, my writing, or painting. I know several of you have been to painting classes, and I know when you walk out of there, you have a sense of accomplishment and self-confidence that you painted this painting, you created this thing. Or maybe it's even cleaning. It could be something that's not even creative, like artistic creative. It could be creative, like redoing your pantry in a creative way, and organizing your home creatively. So combining one thing to get another thing. So if you try to look at everyday problems from new angles, and then when you find those solutions, you're going to have a bigger degree of confidence because you were able to come up with new solutions, or you created this new beautiful painting, or, I don't know, knit sweater that you knitted, or, I don't know, you woodworked.
Something for your kids'
made a
room, it would be cute.
Yeah, whatever you do, it's just whatever you create, it just gives you, and I know that feeling because when you're done with it, you're just like, wow, I can't believe I did that. That's so cool. And you have a sense of confidence. So doing more things like that can really increase your confidence as well.
And then expand yourself. One of the simplest confidence building exercises for children and for adults is to expand your knowledge. I know right now, I have a granddaughter who's almost 3 years old in October, and boy, she wants to know everything. Her knowledge is constantly, her head is just expanding. What color is that? Her favorite word is, what's this? What's this? What's this? Where did it come from? What did it do? And that's her little way of expanding. And we need to continue doing that. It doesn't matter our age. If you know a little bit about, our country's history, then, learn more. Try to find out the areas that you really need to work at home and start becoming better at those, because they'll help you the most. If you need to become better at selling, then start doing whatever it takes to get it done. Learning never ends in life. Trust me. I am one who loves and will continue to learn. It just amazes me, too, when I see these senior citizens in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s graduating from college. They got it. They figured it out. That learning never ends in life. And once you start improving the areas that you truly need, you'll also gain like this self-esteem, confidence in your own abilities. And the more you know, the better you will feel. Just get out of your comfort zone and build that confidence. It's not hard to read a couple of pages from a selling-related book each day, if that's your thing, or watch videos about something that you're truly interested in. Listen to audios in your car. I'm an audio addict. Surround yourself with whatever you want to learn, and you'll become a true expert, even if it's just a hobby. It's about building your confidence.
I love that one because I'm a avid learner. I'm like a book, I don't know. I don't want to say a bad word. A book whore, though. I said it.
You said it. We know what you mean.
Amazon loves me. Anyway, so, and seminars, I would go to every seminar in the world if I could afford it. But they get kind of pricey, but books aren't that expensive. So our next tip is watch your body language. Body language is very important, a very important aspect in our self-confidence. It can show everyone around you how confident or unconfident you are. You've seen the people shuffling down the street, looking at the ground. They don't even make eye contact with you, right? Probably more than likely they are not very confident. But on the other hand, if you walk straight with your eyes looking forward, then this shows you have good confidence in yourself, and it helps you to have better confidence. Make a point to do it. Even if you aren't feeling that confident, make a point to hold your head high, put your shoulders back, look out at the people, look at the others coming towards you. Just try it. The next time you feel down, just change your posture.
You know,
that's right there.
You know what they say? They say that women who avoid rape are generally those women that have a strong body language, confidence, where the victimizer looks at them and says, "Nah, not her, not today."
You know, I think I learned that in a self-defense class once, that to walk out to your car, like if it's at night, with very confidently, don't look scared, walk confident. Of course, have your key in your hand, but nowadays you just have to have your clicker, so you're even better. But yeah, so true.
Yeah, body language, important. Now we're going to talk about uniqueness, ladies. Acknowledge your uniqueness. Each one of you are so unique. Believe in yourself and know that you're one of a kind. In other words, in the words of Walt Whitman, there is no one else like you on this planet. No one looks quite like you, has the same talents that you do, or experiences especially, or perspective as you do. You are unique and are therefore here to make your unique contribution. If we each focus on what we bring into the world to share, there can be no comparisons, no envy, and no regret.
And then our next tip is give it your best. And I know some of you have heard of Don Miguel Ruiz and the 4 Agreements. And one of the agreements is always do your best. And I just love that one. And I go a little bit further in my book, and I say, always do your best, don't be perfect. So do the best with what you have at this moment in time and who you are. And then you're going to feel good about yourself because you're going to feel confident by knowing you have done your best. It may not turn out exactly the way you want it to, but if you know you gave it your best, like when you're at the gym, if you're doing the best you can do, then and you may not be as good as the person next to you, but if you're doing your best, that's such a confidence booster.
Yeah.
So giving your best makes you unafraid to take risks also. And then you can step out of your comfort zone, which again is another huge confidence builder.
100%. 100%. And then the other thing is persevere. All of us have setbacks, obstacles. Things are going to happen. My favorite phrase is life is in session. And being in session, stuff's going to show up. It's going to happen. It's going to be beyond our control. We might even make mistakes from time to time that cause us some kind of grief or loss. But persevere. Don't let any of those things undermine your confidence. And treat them as opportunities to strengthen your resolve, and then persevere. See, we don't enter the world with perseverance and confidence. No one has it all. Talking about it's not going to help us gain it. Many women have difficulty developing self-confidence because they're taught early on to play it down and step behind the male figure. Well, this is a new day, sister. We need to instinctively focus on who we are and what we bring into the world. Because like I say to my kids and my girls all the time, if I don't love me, I can't possibly effectively love you. I've got to love me. So I love me first most comprehensive. And from that place of love, of myself, then I can love you, and I can encourage you to love yourself.
When you turn on the television or read the paper, we're bombarded with examples of women with great self-confidence, thank God. And they all have kind of chutzpah that we want to be able to muster. We want to be like them, like Michelle Obama, Sandra Day O'Connor, Madame Curie, are just a few examples. But how do these women create the belief in self required to push the limits of their abilities? How do they continue to try, even at the risk of public failure and humiliation? If you ask them, their formula for self-confidence would probably include some of the following ingredients.
Take responsibility for yourself, number one. This is the first and most important ingredient in all self-confidence formulas. You and only you can make new things happen in your life. If you wait for serendipity to provide you with good fortune or with increased confidence, you'll be waiting a long, long, long time. So take responsibility for yourself. Realize that the path towards self-confidence is one that you will have to travel. No one else can do it for you.
And this is a good one. I love this one. Experiment with life. Try something new. Go to dinner by yourself. Have you guys ever done that? I have. I used to travel for business, and I used to actually love to go to dinner by myself. Take a class, like we said, an unfamiliar subject area. Take a class in, like for me, take a class in math. That would be unfamiliar. But that's going to boost your confidence. Experiment. Teach yourself how to repair a toaster. Teach yourself how to repair your bike that's been sitting in your garage for 5 years. Testing your abilities with new endeavors is a wonderful way to learn that you can really rely on yourself, and you don't need anyone else to do it for you.
You know, and then these women probably would tell you, develop an action plan and implement it. You know, select one area for personal or even professional development. Determine the action steps that you'll need to take to get there. Put these steps on a timeline, and then implement each step according to a plan. No excuses. Every small step you take will be a great boost to your confidence.
And then when you have your plan, just stick with it. Don't quit. Self-confidence doesn't come from each thing you attempt. If it did, one failed effort would bring you back to 0 on the confidence scale. True confidence develops from an increasing belief that you can rely on yourself to take action and follow through no matter what. So just because you fall down once, I mean, those of you that are realtors, and just because you get 1 no, keep going. 2 no's, no, keep going. Or depending on what your career is or how your life is, just stick with it. Or losing weight, stick with it. Just because you didn't lose weight last week, stick with it. Just because you didn't exercise yesterday, stick with it. Develop your plan and then stick with it.
Yes, yes. And they would probably tell you, these women, to find a mentor. I'm sure each one of them had a mentor. So do you know someone who is confident and continues to take new risks time after time, one after another? Watch how they do this. Muster up the courage to ask them to meet you for coffee. Find out how they do what they do. Ask them for their feedback about your action plan and implementation. Most confident people are really happy to help. They remember the courage and effort it's taken them to get where they are. I think that's so cool. If you read the book, The 1 Minute Millionaire, in the storyline, there is a mentor that shows up for this woman who has lost her husband in an automobile accident and lost her kids through the courts of her husband's very, very evil and crooked mother and father. And she was just found herself in a dark, low place. And it was a mentor, another female mentor, that helped her step by step become a millionaire in 90 days. And it's a fabulous story. And but it all started with this mentor-mentoree relationship. So find a mentor, and then try to overcome, they would tell you, adversity. You know, overcoming adversity builds and strengthens our confidence. Trust me, I've had a lot over the last 72 years. We all have had something. The greatest songs and works of art and literary pieces have been written by those who have experienced the depths of despair, loss, emptiness, and then overcame them. So experiencing sadness and loss and then rising above them gives us rise to hope and triumph. You know, sometimes it's divorce. Sometimes it's death. Sometimes it's illness. It makes you stretch and become more than you ever were or thought you could be.
And the next tip is accomplish something. Kind of, this is similar to what this is the same thing when we talked about that word eudaimonia. Set small goals for yourself. Set goals for yourself and push yourself to reach them. Your self-confidence will soar when you know that you can do whatever you put your mind to. It makes you feel unstoppable.
Amen.
Mastery experience are those in which you know you have worked hard and sustained great effort in order to achieve them. And then you'll feel that sense of eudaimonia and that sense of great confidence knowing you've set a goal and achieved it. It doesn't have to be a huge goal. It can be a small goal. Just knowing that you've set it and you did it gives you a sense of accomplishment.
Baby steps, you know, just a small, yep. You know, and then they probably tell you to separate yourself from the event or the experience. If we are not what happens to us, nor how we believe others see us. In other words, we are not defined by what happens to us, nor are we defined by how others see us. We are who we choose to be, a person of character, a person of dignity, and a person of self-confidence.
And I'm sure these ladies would tell you, too, to confront your fears. There's nothing that destroys self-confidence more than succumbing to fear. When you're afraid of something, of course we all feel fear at various times. We're human, right? But we need to face those circumstances with courage and poise. And then that will really strengthen our character and build our confidence rather than running away from what we fear. Put yourself out there. If you're afraid to meet new people, force yourself. Attend social events. Don't just stay home and not go. Doing builds confidence. Of course, you'll feel and probably be awkward the first few times in new situations. However, the more you do it, the better you'll get and the better you'll feel about yourself. And I have kind of a, it's not a funny story, it's a true story. I had put on my vision board, gosh, back when I was probably about 25, that I wanted to be a college professor. And then I got the opportunity through somebody that my husband knew to interview for a position at Chaffey College. So I went on the interview, got the job, but guess what? I was deathly afraid of public speaking like everyone else. So I went in there the first night. So I'm thinking, what the heck did I do? I just put myself in, from the frying pan into the fire, and now I have to speak every night publicly in this class. So I would say I really confronted my fears. And now guess what? I love public speaking. So you never know. That thing you fear may be the thing you end up loving. So take that step.
Great story.
Confront your fears.
Great story, sweetie. Well, that's our presentation for tonight on building self-confidence. Oh, gosh, we really hope that you can take away some ideas and processes tonight, which will really help you and come to mind at those times when you might notice you're feeling a lack of self-confidence.
So do we have any questions, comments, ahas, anybody? Anything we said really resonate with anybody? Type it in there. I see none of you are on the line. I don't see any green. So type.
This has been helpful. Yay, nay. Did you already know this stuff? Are you going to be able to use it next week? Because, of course, we've got some workbook exercises for you to help you focus in on processes of even more self-confidence. I'm sure the women that are on this group, in this group, all are doing activities that require a level and a degree of confidence. But the more confident you are, the better you will excel. So we do have some great workbook exercises, right, Suzanne?
Yes, we do. And of course, energy notes. We'll have an energy note for you.
And you know where to find those.
Yep, on the Facebook page, and then we'll email them to you as well.
So ladies, congratulations sincerely on taking the 8th step to mastering your energy to reach your goals in 2017. And as you embark upon next week, please may we collectively set an intention for each other that the tips and processes we've presented tonight will come to mind, and you'll be able to activate them, when needed, and choose to live daily with really wonderful and broad and bold self-confidence. We both want to thank you for being here tonight and for your participation, those of you who participated. And by the way, we'll see you next Thursday for our 9th topic, do you know your emotional IQ? Okay, emotional IQ. And so, Suzanne, what is our affirmation for this week?
So this is our affirmation for this week, but I see none of you are going to be speaking, so just say it along with me to yourself. Repeat after me. I am amazing and
astonishing.
I'm brilliant and
beautiful.
I am clever,
courageous and caring.
I'm fabulous,
funny and giving.
I'm happy,
loving, and lovable.
Ooh, I'm outstanding and I'm
sexy.
I'm terrific,
tantalizing, and
totally
wonderful.
And I'm unique and special, and most importantly, I'm me.
Yay!
Love that one. Love it. So yeah, that could be your self-hypnosis before you go to bed.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, everybody. Good night, everyone. Have an awesome, confident week.
Okay. Bye-bye.